Welcome everyone, happy Sunday, and welcome to the Watchlist pick of the week. So we actually have quite a few names to go through, so let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, we have Tesla. Now a few members actually took an 800C 319 expiration call right before close on Friday as a lotto. Went ahead and joined. Now, why not make this our star event and see the levels we have to go over. So actually, our first line of resistance that we have to work getting over is that 706 to 708 range. 706 is fine. If we can get back over that, we can have a quick scalp, but I'm worried about a rejection over here at the 720 area. Once we take care of 720, we can start making a move to the 738 area, 737, 751. We see we have above 750, just round that. And then finally we have 767, you can't really see up there, which is going to be our main target of the week. Now we have next Tilray. So T-L-R-Y. Tilray. All right. Now we had some good weed news on Friday. Some potential legalization in New York. That's not going to be news that's easily sold off, but we want to go ahead and wait for confirmation. So on Friday we did manage to go ahead and get a nice scalp off of this from the 28.5 pivot all the way to 29.4. So if we can get back over 28.5, we can start making our way back to the 29.5, and lastly our main target, which is going to be 31. This name might be a swing play. I notice usually weed has continuation days, so whenever I play, I tend to sell a little bit early on the day of, just because I like to day trade instead of hold over. But this one might be a name to hold over to the next day, but we'll see about that. Now next, Airbnb. Alright, so Airbnb, we do have congestion from, let me go ahead and put this where we have our first line of resistance. Okay, so we do have a little bit of congestion. We can even bring that down to right here. Yeah. We do have a line of congestion from 206 to 209, but once we get over 209, we should be seeing 214 fairly quick as we've been seeing in the past. Let me see if I can go back here. Yeah, we see a little 214 spike right there. I don't want to waste all our time just looking for it, but you see the point. After 214, 215 range, which is ironically right here. Let's go ahead and place a quick marker there. We'll fix it during market hours. We have 214 price target. Get back over that. We can start making our way to 218 and finally test all-time highs. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened on Friday. So Friday we have an explosive movement. I went ahead and alerted members at the 200.4 range. That went all the way up to 208. So that was an amazing play for Friday lottos if people want it. Now let's take a look at Delta Airlines. So D-A-L. Alright, so Airlines still doing hot. Our AAL, American Airlines, did extremely well. Take a look at this huge buying volume. Don't forget that this week. I'm telling you right now, do not forget Delta Airlines. This signifies a lot. We saw this same type of explosive volume at close with Zoom before their earnings, believe it or not. I never told anyone, and I never bothered bringing it up because, who would believe after the move was done? Let's see if we can find it over here. Here it is. Oh, there she is. This was the Friday close, and then we opened up on Monday. This is Zoom. Friday close. Huge green buying volume. Now, we saw on the next day we had a really nice continuation into earnings, and of course earnings did spectacular, sold off. We know the history. Now, what I'm thinking about Delta Airlines is we're going to have a similar type of setup, essentially. Let me see if I can get back over to where we need to be. So I actually haven't dotted this one up on my desktop, but we do have a line over here at the 50 psych level. Now, price targets above that we're going to be going for is, let's go ahead and take a look at the, so we want to break the 52-week high, and, geez, there you go, yearly. All right, and now we have levels above. What we have in front of us is 51.5. We can get rejected actually at the 51.8 range, but I'm being very conservative and scalping my profits ever since we started going downhill a bit. We're not out of the water yet. Do not forget, this week is OPEX week, option expiration week, where we'll see huge volatility. Don't let your guard down just because we had a few green days. We're going to see a lot more over the course of this week. Now, we have Twitter. So Twitter, similar to our Snap play, Snap did spectacular, and I do expect for us to have a continuation this week. We had a crazy win on Friday, crazy end of the day ramp, and that's what happens when we stick to our stop losses, which never hit, mind you. You can go back and see we never went to break even. We stuck to it. We just let it melt up. Let your winners go. And sure enough, we got paid over 100%. Alerted the entry at 2.9, sunk to 2.7 end of the day. A lot of people were asking, oh, should we get stopped out? Well, there was your answer. We just hit over 100%. I believe it was, 150, 160%. It reached all the way to 750. Anyway, similar setup. Twitter, I believe we do have a little bit of time this week to get going. Now, we'll switch over to the 15-minute chart. We have above 69 to 70 range. Once we get over that, we see we passed 69 here and still got rejected. Let's put that over there. So 69 to 69.5, but I do like the look of Delta. So once we get over that, we should see 72 area, 72, 73. You can go ahead and do 72.5. That's what I'm going to do. And then over that 75, 76 area, I'm just going to be trimming at the 75.4, 75.3. That's where I'll be taking my profits. And now lastly, on the given watch list, we have Roku. We had some good movement on Friday. However, I'm still not sold. We do have that 200 MA rejection. I do believe we're going to open up Monday green after that stimulus talk and all that good news we had over the weekend. Now, we're going to see a slight curve up with the 200 MA, but I do expect a rejection around this area. I might be wrong. Again, there was some strong buying volume end of the day. Doesn't always signify anything, but that's something to look out for. If you see any weakness, I want to see a movement of Roku below 345. So we see I put 346 right here. Again, we want to give it a few points for confirmation. So 345, below that we can go to 340. That's the next area of miniature support, and then below that 330 to 334. Again, can stay conservative. I put 334 as my price target. Now let's go ahead and run over the 15-minute 200 MAs of interest on Monday really quick. So we have Big C to start us off, Big Commerce Holdings. Now let's go ahead. We're on the 15-minute chart. You see in after hours we just kind of stuck to it. So depending if we have a gap up or gap down, let's see our reaction off of this 200 MA early on in the day. Next, we have BIDU. A lot of members hate this name. A lot of members love to scalp this name. I personally love to scalp it. Again, check out for that 200 MA reaction if you have any bad news for BIDU centering around China news and whatnot. We can see some movement down once that breaks. Now, next, we have some FANG names. So Apple, again, sitting right at that 200 MA. If we break that, we do have support around here, around the 120 point, I would say 5 area, 120.6. And if we go ahead and break upwards, we do have a gap to fill above. Let's double check that on the daily. We do have a slight gap above to fill. Now, I want that to be rejected around, I don't necessarily want it to be rejected, but I do expect it to be rejected around this level right here, or our next area of resistance to watch out for is going to be 121.7 to 122. You can round it up, or 121.5 to 122. Now we have Facebook, again a Thang name. This one had some amazing movement. Unfortunately, we were spoiled of our riches. This was essentially my main focus last week. And, when names get pumped too early by certain individuals, we do see a pullback the next day, which just completely exhausts the buyers way too early. Again, some people just want to pump the stocks just so they can say they had a winning alert. Now, what I want to see for... Oops, let's not play around with that. What do I want to see for Facebook? We have the 200 MA here. We can see either rejection or an explosive movement upwards, but we are in a slight congestion zone here. We do have 266 to 265 area, and then we do have the 269 level above. If we can break that, we do have 272.5. We get over that, and we should be breaking out of the overall downtrend right here. You see where we got rejected on Thursday, went back down, but once we get over 272.5, that should be a good go ahead for a breakout. Once we get over 280, that's when things start really getting interesting, and I have a 300 price target. 280 is a big pivot level for Facebook. Last but not least, Netflix. We caught this one right before the jump somehow on Thursday. Pretty much essentially luck. I forgot what the news was. Something about password sharing. Anyway, we have our 520 pivot. Now 520 takes us to either 525 or 530 straight away. These are next two levels above. Now you see we did actually stop first and foremost around 525 right here, and got rejected at the 530 big pivot, and fell back below to after hours. We had a bad gap down the next day, and again went for that 520 break. We broke 520, and let's put it exactly at 520. There. Broke 520, made a move upwards to around 526. So again, 525 was our level. If we can go over 530, we should see a big move up. That's a big conviction play. But for the meantime, it's scalps above 520. Again, it's not huge scalps, but it's something. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed our watchlist pick of the week. I hope you can snag some great winners of your own. I know I will, and I hope I can alert the mass to act on their own and have their own riches. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and let's have a successful week.